This conference will now be recorded.
Push to green.
Just hold it down a little bit.
Not that one.
No, that's the right one.
14th, 2023 Planning Commission's called to order. Any changes to the agenda?
Nope.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Discussion. If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Carry, opposed, abstain, carries 4-0-0, I guess. October 10th, 2023 minutes.
The only thing I saw is under public hearing, the time is incorrect. It should be 5:35 instead of 6:35.
Good catch.
Hey.
Under the public hearing.
Yep, item 4,
The application.
the public hearing opened at 5:35 PM instead of 6:35 PM.
Anything else? Move to approve.
Make a motion, we move to approve the minutes from the last meeting on October 10th. I second the motion to approve.
As corrected, right?
Oh, as correct.
Yeah. Motion second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstain, carries now 5-0-0. Let's see here. Public hearing, 5:35. Is that when it was scheduled? So number 4A variance on suburban Mazeppa sign. Kurt, do you have any background?
The sign itself, as you know, from our last meeting, is going to be roughly 10 feet long and 6 feet wide, which is 120 square feet. City ordinance allows 32 square feet. You can see where the sign is going to be located on the wall of the entrance to the school, which faces not Mill Street, but is it West Avenue? West Avenue. It's quite a ways off of your main street. I personally received one call against it, but they didn't know where it was going for sure. So the call is not, does not pertain to it because it was in the wrong spot.
Okay. I'll open the public hearing. Any comments? I'll close the public hearing. And so even though it's a sign related ordinance, we still kind of have to follow the variance procedures, like harmonious with the neighborhood and not injurious and practical difficulties and all that. And so I guess if there's any discussion.
Is this on the west side of the school or the east side?
East side.
By the parking lot.
Yep, parking lot.
Shouldn't bother anybody there.
The new front of the school.
Yeah.
Still have a tough time with that. That's the back of it.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, you got the big parking lot, so a long ways away from any home or the street, and it's, consistent with the large lettering
It's not flashing, is it? I mean, it just stays on.
I don't believe so.
Does it pulse?
It's got lights behind it.
Yeah.
So it's not actual seeing lights.
Seems to be consistent with the overall. I mean, if it was made to be as small as our ordinance, it would probably look out of place, right?
Yeah, one of the things they want, you will be able to see it from Main Street up Stee's Hill.
Oh.
Because you look right straight down.
Mhm.
And one of the things that the new superintendent is after is trying to delineate the front of the school. So he's kind of hoping that when you're driving through town, oh, there's the school down there, type thing. So I think it's a good idea. I don't know that it's so far back in the parking lot, neighbors are not even going to notice that it's there. The closest neighbors are to the other way, which is the apartment building and State Farm, but it's behind that corner, so they won't even see it from what that angle.
Just a point of question or clarification regarding the ordinance. It says it's 32 square feet in area. So does the sign that says Zumbrota Mazeppa High School, Middle School, is that the sign?
It's already there. I don't know if that's part of.
Maybe it was an oversight, but I recall approving a sign variance for the school a while back too.
It's probably the one up in the front with
Maybe.
that is pretty bright.
Yeah.
It's an LED sign, or it is an LED sign.
The sign? Yeah.
Maybe the lettering, I don't know, could there be I don't know if there'd be an exception to that for identification or.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, and I agree with your comment, Matt, that if it was within the 32 square feet, it wouldn't really make the impact that they're trying to make there, but
Should the council one way or the other? Motion second to recommend the council approval. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose, abstain, carries 5-0-0. Actually, yeah, we just, that's part of the same agenda. We didn't have to wait till new business to approve that. So, all right. Next 4B, are we at the next public hearing? Did we schedule that one for 5:40 probably? Okay. Back, is this a public hearing or is this just more discussion?
It's a public hearing.
Okay. What do you got, Kurt?
We're adding just the words you can see are underlined on page after memorandum page. I should number these. Any structure greater than 128 square feet in area has to be at least 5 feet from the primary residence. We're talking about accessory structures, aka sheds. If it's 128 feet or less, it can be anywhere in the yard, mainly because we had a resident up in the Highlands who was building I guess you could say, got caught by CMS. So it came with 128 square feet. Tom came with that number due to the construction use of certain wood. And that would be the amendment to the ordinance. And that's what the public hearing is about. It's less than 128 square feet.
That's what it's
Yeah.
at. Okay.
So that should fit under this new ordinance if we approve it.
All right, I'll open the public hearing. Any comments? I'll close the public hearing. And, I know we've discussed this for a couple meetings. was there sort of a consensus that around town there are quite a few smaller sheds that are right up next to the house, so this wouldn't do much harm to the aesthetics?
Yeah, I think the way it came up, it was called out by the building inspector, Randy. And then when we dug into it, we had applied for a variance, right?
Originally, I was thinking
Originally?
should apply for variance. We use that money to, how do we say, rewrite the ordinance.
So then Randy dug into the fire code a little bit and it would meet the fire code this way.
And I spoke to State Farm rep here and another State Farm rep, and they both insure buildings the same no matter where they're located. We came up with, Tom brought up the number 128 square feet.
As far as other properties in town, I think there's probably similar situations where there's a small shed close to the house, right next to it, or definitely within 5 feet. So this would take care of some of those zoning violations too.
Yes, it would.
Is that right, Brian? Or
Yeah, absolutely. It would take care of a lot of those things that may be violations, but not complained about or not
Right.
noticed. And really the hazard in a small shed is not. Unless otherwise, be pulling gas cans, I suppose.
any thoughts? I suppose this would also be a recommendation to council.
And these will not go to council until December 7th. I don't think, unless I do an ad now and change the whole council packet again.
No problem.
Actually sent it out already today, which is good for me.
Just need a motion to approve the change in the variance.
I'll make that motion.
Amending the ordinance,
Amending.
not a variance, yeah.
Okay, amending the ordinance.
The underlined section of this, underline on section 2, under amended ordinance, section 3's, subsection 3.
I'll make that motion to amend the ordinance in section 2B. Is that right?
Section 3, subdivision 3.
B?
Sure.
Parliamentary procedure.
So this is a built structure, so it's going right by the house. So there is the limit to two buildings on a property. So they could put another shed up if they wanted to. So either way, you can have two sheds is what I'm hearing, right? On a property, whether it's close to the house or not. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to find out.
I'll second the motion.
Further discussion? If not, all in favor to recommend to council the proposed amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, carries 5-0-0. There is no old business. 6A, new business. Kurt?
There's a minor subdivision or lot consolidation that we want to look at procedure. You can see the parcels that I've given on 2080th 20th Street and 729 Stratford Drive are both owned by Mr. King, Scott King. They're both registered in the PUD, and the PUD is unique. There is, I did have copies of the setbacks for the PUD. His is, I believe, a PUD-R residential. You can see the pictures given are of his two lots, where they're located in the city, of the PUD at Woodlands, and the 2080, and the 729 Stratford Drive, where they're located. Originally, the builder came to me with a question of variance because of the building they were going to take place, and because he owns 2 lots, he went to the county, and you can see, registered with the county, the 2 lots have been combined without city approval. So he paid for that to happen. You can see the development application that is given here. So what I need is 2 things. I could do some more homework on it to see if this is, like, what is he planning to put there? If you don't want to combine these 2 lots into one because the city is not really for that, we could keep him 2 lots and he could pay a variance fee for whatever construction he puts, because the rear yard setback for his lot, it says 25-yard rear yard setback, but that's on the corner as well, so be different than what we see.
What's the setback?
More specific, correct. So I could talk, I've not spoken to Mr. King about it. I've spoken to his builder. CMS alerted me to this variance, but because it's becoming 1 lot, they don't need the variance anymore. So therefore it's 1 lot. Or, well, it could be 1 lot, but we want to keep it 2, what I heard from city workers.
25 feet, Kim.
25
the
feet
rear
is the
yard.
rear.
But we don't really know how much he's at.
Right. I'm not sure what he's looking at digging into.
Good.
Yet. And like you said, because of the PUD, but they do have assigned with the mayor as well, the current setbacks of the PUD. So maybe I could do some more work to find out exactly what Scott King is looking at building, and then see if he would like to apply for variance.
So he's the builder and
Is not.
he's the property owner.
He's a property owner. The
And
builder's land name is Cleese, I believe.
oh, so
Cleese,
he's the
Roger.
builder.
Yeah.
Okay.
We said we think it's a garage, or what do we?
That's what I've heard from various people. Now, he's paid $7 for this zoning application. I could put that towards the, variance application that he could eventually, or whatever you decide.
Remember denying this for, back before our council, who was that out in, like the Highlands second, Scott, somebody. He had a double lot and wanted to, do something to expand onto that second lot, and because of the preservation policy of, tax base and single-family residences on each lot. I remember denying that. But that was then, and this is now.
And the closest I came up with was the Schleep example from 405 9th Street East, which is on our way up the hill. And you can see the information, the only information I found was underneath new business, minor subdivision lot consolidation, and the new business. There wasn't really much information given.
Yeah, and like I said, Public Works is dead set against these combinations because of the utilities. What do we do with the utilities? There have been some examples, and they've been done different ways. We can cap them in the curb stops and just leave the utilities in the road. Or the city engineer would say you go into the road, dig the road up and turn it off at the corp, which is not a dead body. A corpse. That's our little joke on these things. But, which we don't want to do. We don't want to have a big patch in the road, even though the homeowner would have to pay for it. Anytime you patch a road or dig up the road like that, you're going to end up with issues. So we'd rather not do that.
What happens if you don't cap it?
Well, then it'll present issues at some point down the line, just like any other service, as they age. And we'll forget that they're there and nobody will know and somebody will hit one and all that good stuff, so. um, Yeah, kind of come around to maybe we should limit the combinations of lots, not only because of the tax implications, but because of the other, the services are there. Yeah,
It could be on a case by case basis, but we'd have to.
Right.
We'd have to come up with a reason why the Schleep one was allowed and this one maybe wouldn't be, or the one out in the Highlands second wasn't, but.
Yeah, we did it up in Charleston as well, but that was for reasoning of the townhome lots weren't selling. They weren't selling, so they wanted to be single family.
Yeah.
To try and sell them.
Yeah.
Which made sense at the time, so.
Is the slip one, is that the big house? Well, that had, I mean, there was good reason to do that, and it didn't hurt anything.
Because they're gonna plot a giant house on double lot.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I think, yeah, that's a.
Combined, that could potentially happen in this property, right? If they were combined, then your allowable area for the lot would be doubled, right? Because your lot size is doubled, so the house could be, your lot coverage could be twice as what the lot adjacent to is, right?
is the one lot empty that he
Yes,
wants to add on?
the back one's empty.
Okay, and does he own this house? So what's he want to put on there?
Well, he doesn't want to put anything, he wants
No,
to
he's-
encroach on it.
Yeah, it's encroach from his house onto it.
Within 5 feet, we're thinking a garage back there, which will need a curb cut as well, which is a whole nother
That's some
deal.
sort of new addition, I know. Right.
Some sort of an addition, yeah.
His fence goes onto his lot.
Yeah, but in this case, with that
That's-
setup, I don't see that it's ever gonna be a house all the way around there, maybe. A little different situation with the Schleep one, it was empty lots, 2 empty
Right.
lots, building a big house. This one's got a existing split level home on one lot. I just think a variance would be much better here, depending on what he wants to do.
I don't know. I mean, variance, you can always come up with some reasoning, but, it's something he's creating himself, but. Yeah. You think it's 5 feet or we don't know? How close he wants to get to the lot line?
I don't know, I'm not sure what he's building himself.
Construction? Is he waiting for a decision?
No, I
No?
don't think so.
Has he even started?
That I don't know.
Oh,
And we should contact police tomorrow
Police, yeah.
right away and just to see,
Because
or will he applied so we can get the plans
Yeah.
from CMS, right?
Mhm.
Well, let's get the plan, take a look at it.
Should I call King
Well, you could, or we could,
to see what the, what his overall look is?
So can I ask questions again, just so I'm learning? So the options are to combine the lots to be done, and then he can do what he wants. Or it is to put the variance in, which just costs money, right? And he'd still be able to build, right? Either way, he's building. But I think we still need to know what he's putting in and how big it is, don't we?
thanks.
I don't think combining the lots is a good path to take at this point for the reasons that you've stated, Brian,
Right.
public works reasons, tax-based reasons.
right, and code wise, if he's closer than 5 feet to the property line, he's gonna have to have a firewall. So his construction is gonna change a little bit, have to have a rated wall there, which isn't a huge deal.
Mhm.
It's just chip sheathing and 5/8 on the inside, or, well, yeah.
So this new addition is gonna be much larger, like double the size of what he's proposing, then we'd be all right with it, because then it would be more of a Schleep situation.
If it was house,
I think it's an addition. I don't know if it's a
he's
garage.
doubling the size of the house and going into that lot quite a ways. Well,
I think we should table this until the next meeting when we get more information on what the owner wants to do with the lot.
Yeah, I mean, just sometimes I just want to make sure that we're not holding up the show, not that that's our problem, but sounds like not.
Well, and
I
I'm,
wouldn't think you would have offered that information up. Why don't you just give as much information as you can?
well, and
Well-
I'm curious why it went to the county and
Well,
not to the city.
Why the county
And
didn't
and
say
we had the
anything.
plans at one point, we passed all those along to CMS, our building inspector, so that's how it started, right? And then CMS, Randy Bolton called it out and said, hey, you're too close to the property line. And then they said, well, we're just gonna combine the lines rather than do a variance. And so they go to the county and you just, to that, I said, well, move the property line a little bit, you know, then you still have a lot. I would, as a homeowner, I would still want that extra lot. And you can always move the property line in the same process to get your 5 feet.
We used to have the county trained pretty well. If somebody wanted a lot combination, they would say, well, you got to go through the city. And then personnel changed and they stopped doing that. And I think that maybe got surprised on the city one time. I don't know how many years ago. And then I think the zoning administrator reached out to whoever the county person was, whether it was Don Mitchell or somebody else, and said, hey, we'd appreciate if you would refer us back. So I'm surprised that he granted this without sending him to the city first. I know our ordinance is a little bit fuzzy on lot combinations, but it just seems intuitive that county wouldn't just automatically be doing that. I mean, if I owned 5 lots out on the golf course and I just said, I want to combine them all into one giant parcel, and they'd do it just because I want it done without consulting with the city, it's insane.
Apparently now they would.
Yeah, we should.
I mean, we're totally losing potential tax base. That's the whole, that's the whole reason why council used to be against this.
The finance director is really against it. For those reasons from before.
County for this, do we know?
Yeah,
70, oh, it that says, in that. So it's the same as, okay, yeah.
We can work out the cost difference with him. I don't have any issues with that. If he's willing to go back to a variance or just maybe moving the property line, but we'll see what it is and get the plans and look more at it. There's different ways to
Yeah.
it. It's when we used to have this in Rochester all the time, and we used to do no build easements once in a while to get closer to property lines. And it was, yeah. Then it's recorded on the adjacent property and it gets to be, but when you own the adjacent property yourself, that's something you can do. There's all kinds of avenues here without having to combine them, in my opinion.
And he would be waiting to build anyway, right, through winter? So
Think so.
so another month just to get more information isn't gonna really set him back too much, right?
Ready to go now, but not our problem really.
But we don't know what he's gonna build yet, do we?
I guess staff doesn't know. I thought I had heard that it was a new addition because it's in the rear yard, right?
I'm just getting involved now. It's so.
Well, I don't want to throw out hypotheticals, but let's say we say, well, we'd rather see you go the route of a variance. Can we come up with practical difficulties and that it's something that landowner didn't create himself? Or would that be one of those where we have to get creative to let it slide through? something to think about.
We could have the adjacent owner, which is him, write a letter saying that to be fine. Unless he argues with himself, I
Creative.
don't know. Well, it's one of those things when, like you said, when you're looking at a variance, you kind of look at how does it not replicate everywhere?
The thing on-
What's the uniqueness of it?
Well,
This is unique because he owns both lots. That doesn't happen a whole lot.
And a variance is to be a hardship.
Yeah.
minor concern with a lot combination of there's utility easements on the side lot lines. Those should be vacated too, unless he's never going to be crossing those easements, then maybe they could be left in place for phone, electric and things like that. Yeah, so somebody said they wanted to table it.
I did.
Do you want to make that a
I'll make that a
motion?
motion that we table it until next month when we get more information.
Further, yep, any more discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstain. Carries, we'll revisit it. Because if Brian and Kurt talk to them and come up with a different approach or avenue, you just kind of run with it, right?
Yep, we'll see what it is and come up with a plan on how to proceed and we'll bring it back. Does that neighbor have two pools back there? Look at that. Got a big pool, a little pool.
Well, there's two in there.
I don't even have one pool.
Those detached structures.
I don't know. I don't even know.
All right. Anything else? Otherwise I can adjourn.